And now once again we're talking about things you need to know about wine in 2012. We do it with wine commentator Jayson Bryant at unscrewed.co.nz. Last time we were talking about the wine industry as a whole and where it's sort of been in the past 3 years and where it's going in 2012. But today I want to talk specifically about what's going to be hot in wine and what's going to be not. You know, the stuff we're actually going to be drinking in 2012. Jayson, thanks for coming back.
Pleasure.
So, shall we start with not or hot first?
Hot. Let's go hot.
Okay.
Yeah, hot.
All right.
Hot Pinot Gris.
Okay.
Not warm.
No.
No.
No, you don't want to. No, you don't want to.
Chilled.
You don't want
but hot.
Hot. Hot as in it's good.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Pinot Gris was great for me in 2011. It's going to be still up there in 2012.
It's going to be up there, and I see it now that we actually know a bit more about how to handle, how to crop. It's going to take that next step of quality, and it's going to please everybody. Because one of the hard things has been how sweet is it? Is it medium body? Is it dry?
Well, the thing I like about Pinot Gris is that it is the choice when you don't want something sweet like a Sauv. For me, anyway, I just tend to find Pinot Gris just that sort of hold back that sweetness.
It's quite funny because it should be the reverse.
Okay.
Sauvignon should be dry, and should therefore be matched with kind of shellfish and stuff like that because of that crisp minerality, beautiful fruit purity, as well as Pinot Gris needs to be kind of generally more, I say vivacious, curvaceous, supple. It's big in your mouth. It's slightly oily texture.
Yeah.
You've got lovely fruit, and it generally carries a bit more fruit sweetness and residual sugar. And so,
which is find Savs way more sweet.
I know, and that's been one of the problems since 2008, as we were discussing earlier. That since 2008 we've had so much fruit that we've needed to get rid of it, and sometimes you mask a bit of poor quality fruit with a bit of sugar.
Yeah. Okay.
And so but the hot region is also Central Otago, and I know that that's really going to irk people because I see Central Otago not for their Pinot Noir, even though they make an exemplary Pinot Noir. I see Pinot Gris, the aromatics, the Riesling, the Pinot Blanc, the obviously the Pinot Gris that we're talking about, the Gewürztraminer. Those varieties for me are really exciting. Possibly Gruner Veltliner as well, which is another potential key to the wine industry, but it's difficult to say.
So are we trying a typical Pinot Gris here in the studio today?
We've got two. We've got the Devil's Staircase, and we've spoken about second labels, and this is the kind of second stroke sister label of Rockburn. And so this is a 2011 Pinot Gris.
Which a winery near Cromwell.
Near Cromwell. And then we've got Rabbit Ranch, which is probably one of our better-known Central Otago wineries, made by Chard Farm. It's got that really distinctive, that cap with the two rabbit's ears. Everybody knows it, Rabbit Ranch. I mean, you search for it on the internet, and there's oodles and oodles of information about Rabbit Ranch and the marketing behind it. And they do some really, really, really spunky marketing where they talk about Jancis Rabbitson, and they really play the whole kind of rabbit aspect of their marketing and branding.
Shall we open up?
We should. We'll do the Devil's Staircase 2011 first.
Yep.
And like I said, it is the sister label of Rockburn.
And this would be a wine you'd find in the supermarket as well?
You'd find this in the supermarket. Quite often you'd find it in traditional retail stores as well. There we are.
Thank you very much.
For your listeners, they won't be able to actually see the wine.
Nor experience it, but we'll do our best to describe,
Yeah, and sometimes it's very difficult to actually articulate on radio exactly what you're feeling, because it's about this holistic sense that you get of wine.
Often, I find opening up a bottle in sort of the air-conditioned environment of a studio immediately permeates the air. You get this.
Yeah.
Wow, there's something has opened up in the studio. You know it.
Yeah, and you certainly get it with this. As soon as I opened it up, I could smell that it's got quite an attractive, slightly feminine nose, a bit of fruit sweetness as we were talking about. You get this pear, and there's almost this earthiness there as well. And earthy in wine shouldn't
Is it
be
a good
seen
thing?
as a fault.
Okay.
Often we associate kind of earthiness with faults in wine, but it's generally not. It's just another. We could phrase it as a savoury character,
Yeah.
and people would think, oh, okay, yeah, but earthiness, people go, oh, I don't like that in wine.
Right, let's give this a taste. Oh,
Packs
lovely.
a punch, doesn't
Yeah.
it? Big, opulent fruit.
And it's funny because at the beginning I was saying Pinot Gris I don't associate with sweetness, but this is definitely sweet. Maybe
Yeah.
my Pinot Gris has been too chilled. But anyway, this, what, some sherbet or something?
There is over in the UK you get the sherbet dib-dabs and sherbet fountains. And so you do get that sherbet character, but also get that kind of nashy pear, really ripe nashy pear character there as well.
Lovely.
A bit of kind of white peach going on, and a slightly herbal character as well, which may have been the kind of savoury, earthy character that I saw on the nose.
So it's important to say that this Pinot Gris is at room temperature
Yeah.
right now, and that allows it to open up more, doesn't it?
It does, and one of the biggest failings, if you're into wine, is that we tend to chill it too much, or we tend to drink our reds too warm. And because in the height of summer, when we talk about room temperature, your room could be 25, 30 degrees, when really you should be drinking your wine kind of 18, 20 degrees. So stick it in the fridge. And I know it's alien to a lot of people about sticking kind of, especially Pinot Noir, stick it in the fridge, half an hour, knock that temperature off, get it down to about 18, 20 degrees. Then you start to see all of the aromatics come through. It really opens up, and it becomes a much more pleasurable wine. As well as our whites, we tend to kind of over-chill and close everything up. Kind of, you stick it in the fridge, and it gets, like, we'll leave it in there for 4 or 5 hours,
Yeah.
it gets down to about 4 degrees, when really we should be drinking them about between 12 and 14. Then you get those beautiful, pleasurable aromatics come through. It really opens up, it's really lifted, and then you get the full sense of what the wine is.
Okay. All right. Well, we are celebrating what is hot in wine for 2012. Things you need to know about wine with Jayson Bryant at unscrewed.co.nz. And Jayson says Pinot Gris will be the hot wine in New Zealand in 2012. You have got another bottle. Tell you what, do you want to come back?
I'll come back.
I'll come back another day.
Yeah.
Bring that bottle, and we will try that one as well. But in the meantime, unscrewed.co.nz for more Jayson Bryant. Thanks very much.
Pleasure.